All right, hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to say, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Excuse me, and shalom to all you brothers out there and you good amount of sisters. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham to you all. All right. Now what you see here is an article from The Independent. All right. It says Elon Musk's Neuralink says 10,000 patients have signed up for its brain chip. All right. Now, if you know about the brain chip, you know that that is the mark of the beast. All right. The RFID microchip in the hand and the Neuralink brain chip in the brain. All right. These are the two different forms of the mark of the beast. All right. And if you take them, you will surely be destroyed. Okay. Now let's go into the scriptures. All right, and let's get that real quick. I'm not going to do a full breakdown on, charagma and charax. All right. Slack. Let me jump to Revelation. The breakdowns are out there. I just wanted to grab these scriptures and make it quick, edifying, straight to the point. All right. This is Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, that mark in the right hand, that is he's really talking about the dominant hand, the power hand, So if you're left-handed, you're going to get it in your left, or your right hand, you're going to get it in your right. All right. If you're not one of the elect of Israel, that is, And, you could be of another nation and not get it, and you're still going to get destroyed because salvation is only for Israel, But nevertheless, that mark in the dominant hand, okay, that's the grain of rice little RFID microchip, all right, that they're going to put in that little fleshy part, all right, between your thumb and your index finger, all right, that little like web of skin, when you stretch your hand out, all right, that kind of stretches out between your thumb and your index finger. All right, that's where they want to plant the chip in the like the meaty part of that, like right where the muscle is. You know what I'm saying? That's the mark of the beast. All right, and then also if you read on, it says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. In their foreheads, that's talking about what we just read. All right, the brain implant. Okay, the Neuralink. All right, now when you get Neuralink in, I believe, the Greek gematria, it comes out to 666, all right? And we know that 666 goes into the barcode, all right? The two lines on the right, the two lines in the middle, and the two lines on the left, they represent the number 6, all right? And that's what barcodes have, all right? Man, excuse me. Excuse me, Salakia, all right? So this prophecy of the MOTB, it's the RFID microchip. All right, and the brain implant, all right? Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So that digital infrastructure that you see being laid out, all right, everything going digital, all money is digital. They want to make central bank digital currencies, all right? They want to force a digital ID on everybody. This is all moving towards prophecy being fulfilled, all right? They want to do gradualism, where they slowly but surely, all right, push their agenda, all right? And this is what it is. It's going to end up with, them forcing that microchip on you, all right? So now let's get the judgment tied to taking that. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead, which is the brain chip, or in his hand, which is the little hand chip, that little grain of rice, all right, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So that means when these nuclear missiles come and destroy America, you're going to be standing right there. The Most High is going to keep your spirit in your body so that you feel that heat. You're going to die a terrible, terrible death, all right? You're going to die a horrible death, all right? And that's going to be on the day that Yahweh Shai comes back, all right? Because Yahweh Shai is coming back to bring salvation to the elect and then destruction to America, and slavery to, the surviving heathens, throughout the world. Um, Now let's see. Also, I want to get 2 Thessalonians 2 and 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. It says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed." And who's the wicked? Esau Edom. All right, the self-proclaimed white man. All right, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets. And we go out there and we expose this devil for the devil he is, and we show where in the scriptures it says that he's Esau. All right. And what we explain his fate, that he's going to get knocked out of power and his kingdom is going to crumble and America is going to be destroyed. All right, and they're going to go into slavery, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, which is, the chariots, with the lasers, and then the nuclear missiles, Verse 9, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders," and these RFID microchips, especially these Neuralinks, I should say these brain chips, they let you do all types of lying wonders. All right, these paralyzed people, they can, control video games using their thoughts. They can, walk again. I'm sure it's going to do more, so-called miracles. Lying wonders. That's going to convince people that this is the greatest thing to ever happen. And they're going to say we're crazy conspiracy theorists for calling it the mark of the beast. They're going to call for us to get put to death. And many of us are, or some of us, I don't know how much, are going to get put to death for not taking it, So we got to prepare ourselves, speaking to myself first and foremost, you got to be ready for, what if the troops come and kick your door down, all right, in the middle of the night and haul you off. And now you're in the FEMA camp. Now you got to walk to the guillotine. Now you're seeing all these heads all over the floor, and like that's what we got to prepare ourselves for, but the Lord will be with us, if that is what we have to go through, Anyways, verse 10, "And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved." They didn't want to receive, the truth that this RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. All right, and if you take it, you're doomed. Okay, it doesn't matter how much, fantastic stuff it can do. It doesn't matter how amazed you are at the technology. It doesn't matter how impressed you are with it. All right, it's wickedness. All right, and it's a sign of submission to this devil Esau. All right, and it's a sign of I don't trust the Most High. I don't believe in the Most High. I don't fear the Most High. I'm just going to be a perpetual slave to Esau's system. I'm going to worship his system. I'm going to be complacent with it. I'm going to make myself a perpetual slave by getting this digital all right? To show my perpetual servitude to Esau, all right? So let's read a little bit of this article. Elon Musk's Neuralink says 10,000 patients have signed up for its brain chip. All right, the tech billionaire wants to use implants to, quote, achieve a sort of symbiosis with artificial intelligence. And that's this devil, Esau, all right? He wants to interfere with the Most High's natural creation, okay? Because they're the wicked, all right? And then this caption says, Neuralink's brain chips have already been tested on people with paralysis to help them control computers through their thoughts. Just merely by thinking something, you can control these machines, which, you hear that as impressive, right? That's fantastic, you would think, right? But it's not. It's a lying wonder, all right? This is the working of Satan, okay? This is a left-hand miracle that these devils are doing, all right? And this is really the Most High's technology, all right? And he's using it to mark, all right, to physically mark charagma, all right, those who he's going to destroy, Let's read a little bit more. Elon Musk's brain chip startup Neuralink has a backlog of 10,000 people hoping to get the brain-computer interface implanted in their skull. And these people are not right for desiring that. They're crazy, all right? They're not right in the head, all right? No pun intended, The company's president has said, Neuralink opened a, quote, patient registry on its website earlier this year, allowing people around the world to sign up for trials of the technology, and they're signing up for certain death, all right? And even if they're not here in America, all right, we know in the scriptures that these chips, okay, the mark of the beast is going to do what? Let's read it in Revelation 16 and 2. It says, "And the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth." I'm gonna start over, my bad. Revelation 16 and 2. And the first went out, man, my bad, yo. Revelation 16 and 2. "And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men and the women which had the mark of the beast, the microchip, the Neuralink, or the RFID little hand chip, all right? And upon them which worshipped his image." So there's going to be a noisome and grievous sore. What is that? Cancer, a tumor, all right? You have that little RFID technology inside your body. Guess what? It's emitting radio frequencies, all right? Radio frequency identification, all right? And there's also NFC microchips, which is near field communication. But no matter what type of frequency it's emitting, that's still a foreign frequency, you know, that's coming out of your body, that's within the tissue of your body, and that's throwing off the vibration of your cells, and that's causing cancer, all right? That's like being around an X-ray 24/7. That radiation is going to cause cancer, all right? So that's cancer. That's a cancerous sore that's going to fall upon the people that take the mark of the beast. And if you take it and you're here in America, you're destined for a nuclear destruction, all right? So it's, you know, we're keeping our eye on this. You know, this is the, you know, big news, all right? I am a little bit late to it. This came out 3 days ago, 4 days ago now, technically, I think, right? It's the 14th. No, I'm sorry, 3 days ago now. You know, yeah, we're keeping our eye on this. You know, once this MOTB is here, you know, like Elder Apostle Tahar, you know, and all the other, you know, apostles and elders on down, you know, have been saying, you know, once this chip is here, all right, then things are going to move very fast, all right? So we know that we're very close to the kingdom of heaven, all right? We're very close to Jacob's trouble. We're very close to the second coming, all right? So, you know, hey, with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. And shalom to all you brothers out there and you good amount of sisters. Shalom.